And 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't understand Celsius. Because I was raised in Texas public school systems, so I only know my way of thinking. But here we are at the start. For those who weren't here before or haven't seen Earthbound, the opening about minute 10, we got nothing going on. It's just scrolling through the town, getting up to Ness before he gets out of bed. No delay between them either, so this will be pretty easy to talk about. All right, so once again, in the opening, not a whole lot goes on for the first couple of minutes. The only thing that we even pick up is a bat here in the opening section. You have to get this eventually. You won't be able to leave the house later without it, and it's just the most optimal thing to pick it up right now. You go ahead and equip it. Not a very good weapon, but it works out well. And here in this opening, it's just walking up to Pokey, nothing to worry about at all. These races are done without manipulation. If you're used to watching Earthbound streams, or if you're thinking about getting into it, manipulation is something that you will hear on a regular basis. The way manipulation works is that to move the game's memory, you're able to either move the cursor, or whenever text advances, when characters start and stop moving, that will cause certain RAM values within the game to move. And if you play the exact same way every time, you're able to get a consistent result and clean everything out. Just get smashes, get bomb drops, all kinds of cool stuff. But we don't do that here, because if somebody were to lose it and the other person were to get it, that'd be a 10-minute time change, and it'd be a pretty boring race. It also makes it less accessible for newer runners. So if you're interested in a lot more technical side of Earthbound speedrunning, really recommend checking out anyone's stream, and particularly follow both of these runners. There are a lot of folks doing Earthbound right now. Manipulation just got a little bit of a revolution. It goes a little bit further into the game now. There's a lot of exciting happenings going on with the Earthbound gaming. Oh, we won't be bringing no manip to Boogie percent. Or you're also the guy that got the manip in front of 200,000 people, so you don't really count. But here we are, our bestest friend Pokey, who's also our neighbor, comes over and tells us, hey, I screwed up, I lost my brother, Dad's gonna beat me, I need your help. So, being a diligent 13-year-old, we're gonna go help him out. We do have an option here of getting an optional party member. It's the Dogo, but unfortunately Dogo makes our butt bigger, which makes it harder to dodge enemies, and he's really not a useful party member, so we do avoid him. That is true, Pyro. I called him out for being too awesome. Well, you're on good race. So now that we're outside, we are going to start seeing enemy spawns. Since this isn't manipulated, we don't know what's going to come for either side. Yuna getting a little bit better time getting out of the house. What you'll see with snakes is they only move when the players move, so we might see some stutter stepping. The way stutter stepping works is if you move in a good rhythm and not really a frame-by-frame basis, but pretty close, the snakes won't move with you. Birds, they're a little random. They'll either come after you or just shoot into a wall, and you can walk by them, and then sometimes they'll detach and come after you, as Ceriam just had happen. And then dogs, as soon as they lock onto you, they'll just come after you. Now, the crow is a very dangerous enemy at this point. They are one of the fastest enemies in the game. They can also steal some food, but we don't got any food to steal right now. Fortunately, Ceriam only took one hit there. Got a little extra cookie for some health. Don't know if he might heal up before the next sections or just roll with it. Maybe eat the cookie. Yuna had a pretty good time getting up there. So she has a decent lead on him right now, but as y'all saw from the last one, run can come back and forth. A lot of crazy things can happen. So here, like any typical Sunday night for a 13-year-old, Ness walks by this meteorite. B comes down, gives him a prophecy, tells him he's got to save the world, and Ness, once again being diligent, decides, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to go save the world by collecting some melodies. All right, so once you get to that point, spawns are turned off, so you do have a safe trip back to the house. We do have to fight a sort of boss character, but without being level 12, you can't lose to the fight. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like calling it a meteoroid. Sometimes I get to call it an asteroid. See, in Texas public schools, we learned that you can call anything by whatever name it is, regardless of its current state. Because that's what our science textbooks say down here. So, with this first fight, you can either have it go really quick, or it can take forever. There's really nothing you can do about it. It all depends on what Buzz does. The opening turn and every odd turn, he's always going to use that shield, and Starman only uses psychic attacks, so you can't take any damage. But you're wanting the Starman to guard, which has a lot less of an animation. And you want Buzz to try to hit for over 100 each time. But sometimes he can hit for about 18. And when he's hitting for 18, it takes a long time to go through 200 HP. Yuna did not have a bad fight there. I didn't see Ceriam's first hit, or unless it's... Okay, I think that was his first. It was 62, that's not good. He needs to get 150 smash to get out of that. So Yuna will be leading the gate to Sunrise. Leading out the gate, my bad. Another thing we do in Texas is we forget words in the middle of our sentences. Fires are the worst. They take about 4 extra seconds. And here, even though Buzz was able to take out an alien, the common housewife's backhand is just too much for him. So we lose a hero right off the bat. He gives us the remainder of our prophecy and a little tool to help us with it, called the Soundstone, which coincidentally lets you walk through the universe unhinged and then see the world in different ways you never thought you could. For more reference on that, check out Early X or Ceriam at any percent. Alright, so walking out the door of Pokey's house, usually a time gate that I like to look at. So Yuna got there at 9:12. We'll see what Ceriam gets, see the actual difference between them. I feel like it's going to be a little over a minute. But I like to call this section that Yuna is on the Onet Zoo. You can sometimes get tons of spawns here, and it gets really annoying. Hopefully, she gets nothing. Good. Just walk right on through, no issues at all. And Yuna's getting this hat here. Some people don't know that this exists, but it's actually the best defensive hat that you can get right now. But we equip it because we're going to buy a slightly worse one because that hat happens to sell for $99. $99 gets you a whole lot right here, even though Eagle End's currency is just super inflated. Costs $14 for a basic hamburger. Okay, so about a minute and a second difference between the two. Ceriam coming up to the zoo. Let's see if he has just as easy as a trip. Nope. There's one dogo. And, oh, 2 dogo and a bird. Okay. Oh, and the sneaky bird. I hate the zoo. Okay, so he gets out of it. A little bit more tumultuous than Yuna had. Yuna coming down right now to her first shark fight. These guys can be pretty deadly. What you're not wanting to see is a charge forward. You want to see him either fall down or attack. That's a good start. I think she's going to need 2 more hits here because she had a pretty low roll. Oh, never mind. All right, she's good. I don't remember if they have, like, 31, 32 HP. But these guys always drop a hamburger. Hamburger will give you about 50 HP. And the old tried and true fruit juice strats. That's something I like to do. If I do take a charge forward, I like to grab that fruit juice. It doesn't give you much HP. It's about 5 or 6. But it's enough that maybe you can save a real healing item for this fight. A lot of misses from that Pogo Punk. Now, Yuna could come into this next section and not heal before the next person. Yeah, you get a little bit of HP here. But maybe safe to sometimes get them. Because 2 misses on this guy could put you down to death if he does that hula hoop move. But 1 more hit will take him out. And there you go. All right. So she's moving on to our first real boss. Frank here, the main strat is if you take damage, heal. 2 of his highest rolling moves will take you out. She does have 47 HP. HP gains and all stat gains in Earthbound are a bit variant, with the exception of a few levels. Sometimes you can get 46 HP and 1 less defense, and that can actually make it to where even at full HP, a strong brandish can kill you no matter what you do. But 27 HP is pretty safe. Or 47, my bad. Yeah, she has really high offense. But you want to go through those life ups first. With how this is routed, when you fight Frank, you will always get 3 additional psychic points after the Frank fight, giving you enough for a life up in the next fight. And then here with Frankenstein, he has a scripted pattern. Odd number turns, he wastes his turn. His second turn, he does a low hit. And then from the 4th and on, he can do a really high amount of hit damage. But Yuna had a lot of offense here, so let's just focus on Ceriam. Alright, so Ceriam down to 21. And that's what I'm talking about. Take a high hit, and then another one comes out, and down you go. So, Ceriam getting the short end of the stick on this one. Going to have to go back to Mom. And that's Earthbound. And you see how everyone's HP is rolling down. Depending on how fast you can mash, as well as the type of attack that you hit, between 20 and about 23 HP is where you can mash out and try and get a heal off. As long as you can get an action done before your HP hits 0, the game will let you go. But the brandish and knife attack, actually, it's a little bit more delayed. So Ceriam is like godlike at mashing. But even with his amazing skills at mashing, that brandish and knife at 21 HP is pretty hard to get through. And then there's our Stalker Photo Man. We completely avoid him here in Boogie Percent, but if you have to go back to the house because Frank makes you dead, you can't avoid him. And here's Mayor. I believe it's supposed to be Bald Head Pickle, but as a kid I always called him Butthead Pickle. But that is not the canon name. Oh wow, Ceriam, I'm getting no spawns on the way back. That's pretty nice. So let's see what happens with second round here. Alright, 10 damage is good. Ceriam does seem like he got probably 2 or 3 less points of offense than Yuna had. 25 safe. At least he's coming out swinging a bunch. Saying something nasty is good. Guts will determine whether or not you get a critical hit, or if whenever you could take lethal damage, and that lethal damage can be stopped by just leaving your HP at 1. That's called a gut save. Huh. Ceriam got 4 psychic points there. Exceedingly rare, but you'll always have 5 after the Frank fight. Again, Frankenstein will go between doing a low roll or a higher roll, which can do into the 30s every even turn after the second. Safe at 44 HP. He should be able to get rid of him this turn or the next turn. There we go. All right. Yeah, there are certain levels of move you. After the Frank fight, you'll always get back up to 5. Just normally you have 2, and you gain 3. But that's really weird. Yeah, Yuna. I think Yuna cheated. I'm gonna need to proof call this. We need to pause the race, and I need to check out her stats. Roll my hand around a keyboard a bit, or not a keyboard, her controller. Make sure there's no manipulation going on, because these are some crazy high stats. This is ridiculous. Honestly, with the stats that she got and the pace that she's on, I would have said skip the burgers. Screw it. Just go. Just try your luck out. But right now, what she's looking for is 22 slugs. The first floor, the little black dots are always slugs. And you get up to the second and third floor, the black dots can become antoids. It takes a little bit to kind of discern out which is which, because they do look the same, but they have different patterns on how they'll spawn and how many will spawn in particular. Some people will actually stay on the first floor until they get 22. Some people will get 16 and then go up to the third floor where you can get 6. Some people will get 12 on the first floor and then just move on up and hope for the best. I didn't curse nobody. I don't believe in no luck. I believe in cheating, though. And causing them like I see them. This just don't seem fair. It seems like Ceriam has worse stats. It's like this game has variance or something in it. So, Ceriam grabbing his burgers and heading on out. We'll see how things go for him. He's got a bit of catching up to do. But if Yuna stalls in getting here, she'll give him some room to catch up. But so far, I mean, it's going good for her. I believe this is 12 for her, or no, this is 16. She had 2 extra ones, so I believe she's now at 18. I don't know. Y'all found my weakness. It's numbers. Again, Texas public schools. I'll just give y'all a heads up. Pretty much anytime I mention numbers during the course of any commentary, I'm making them up. And I'm just really hoping that I'm as close to accurate as possible so people like Daniel don't call me out. Now, Ceriam here, having a pretty big issue with a full screen of slugs into turn 4. Man, Ceriam is, Ceriam's getting a paddling. That is really unfortunate to have 4 full slugs on the screen with them able to concentrate, because it takes 4 turns for them to be able to use their hypnosis skill. It's okay, Daniel. I love you. Here we go. Here's the Stalin, but Ceriam really needs to catch a pack of slugs before Yuna does to try to catch up. Well, this is quite exciting. Both runners running back and forth, hanging out in a cave as a 13-year-old. Absolutely nothing going on. Oh, and there's a single. The little black dots are slugs in the first floor, and once we get up past this first floor, they can also be ants. But they share a sprite. A little bit of lazy programming, or just, I don't know, maybe lazy animating in Earthbound's part. His fun fact, those familiar with the game, and we will see these guys a little bit later, the diamonds, that wasn't like intended to be just a general sprite. They just didn't make sprites for a lot of enemies, so they gave like a third of the enemies in the game the little diamond sprite. Save up a little bit of that memory. Alright, here's some stutter stepping. Now the problem with stutter stepping in this type of place is when a lot of lag gets on the screen, it's really hard to get things done correctly, and sometimes enemies are just going to come no matter what. But there's rockin'. And see right there, even with the stutter stepping, there's so much lag on the screen, it's just really hard to get through there. Oh, wow. Somehow she only grabbed one of them. Huh. We're going to need a judge after this match. So once you come out here, there is a butterfly. Sometimes he doesn't spawn, but if you walk to the right and come back, you can get him. Butterflies restore 20 psychic points, so this is just a restock point for you. Yeah, I'm not a mod anymore. My opinion doesn't matter. I have no authority. Alright, so, Yuna coming up to the first really spoopy boss. This is Titanic Ant. You're going to want to get both your Rockins out of the way, because they can do over 100 damage, and they also kill his little buddies. Now, 24 damage is a good first hit. Some people take the Frank strat here of anytime you take damage, go ahead and heal. Alright, and she is. It's not a bad call. It's way safer. But he does have a skill that can drain psychic points and can reduce your ability to be able to cast that second Rockin'. Alright, defense down is a good move. Well, it does make you take an additional point of damage. He ain't actually damaging you, so not a big deal. He can also put up a shield, and that will half your physical damage. Oh, his little attack that was doing around 20, he can also do over 40 and make things really sad. Yeah, Yuna's playing fairly risky here. There's a shield, but he's pretty close. Ooh, that was a low hamburger, just 40. Oh, wow, she's got to get him now. Okay. Ceriam, you don't got enough psychic points. Yeah, that is the only disadvantage of him hitting you a whole bunch with defense down, is he can roll a lot higher. But she's out of it. It was a long fight. She ate up all of her hamburgers. She will most likely go and grab a couple of more. That could be an advantage for Ceriam if he has a faster fight and doesn't have to grab hamburgers. He'll make up some time there. There's a little snake down there saying hello. Now, when you beat a sanctuary dungeon, or at least rather beat the boss, the enemies will start running from you, so you don't have to worry about encounters on the way back. All right, and Ceriam coming up with their second fight here. Ceriam getting all the cookies. Cookies can actually be a nice item to have. If you had to use that bread roll, you can give it to an NPC here later in the game. Wow, don't drop the cookie. You can use it on Car Painter. I am a big proponent of the cookie strats on Car Painter. And it's just rude to abandon a cookie. All right, 21's a good first hit from him. And 87's a good roll. Really, anything over 80 I find to be pretty good. Well, then that's your own fault. Can't blame the cookie for you doing a bad input. Those two Rockins were pretty outstanding, which is good because now he has to wade through half damage. But he did get two good Rockins, so he doesn't have that much more room to go. Think about 3 more hits. Sorry, I'm trying to do a little makeshift manipulation. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. There you go. You should be dead there. Yeah, I think we're going to have an official judge review both of these runners' situation here. Because I feel some cheating around on both sides. Alright, so just like it used to happen back in 1994, anytime you want to travel to the next town, you have to go into the dojo of the local police station and get into a fist fight with the cops. Yuna's starting off her first one here, and they're using some nasty karate moves. Wow, okay, Yuna's luck has run out here. Cops have a basic attack, which will do in the teens, and a crushing chop, which will do in the 30s, and they can also smash for into the 40s. And if your HP is below 50, you'll want to grab a burger. If your HP is well below 40 or 50, you'll want to use a life up. You just get a lot more from it. I believe Ceriam has 3 or 4 burgers left. He could skip it. There we go. Doing that old B press to scare that mouse away. Yeah, Yuna's cops have been very aggressive. Ceriam going for some manipulation movement. Yeah, he has enough burgers. There's no reason for him to go buy more. So this is actually the last cop she'll have to fight. The last one runs away and goes and gets their boss. Man. Yeah, I think Yuna used up all of her luck in the opening section here. Hey, and the extra hamburgers. She can use that on the first turn. So, Strong is a lot more of a threat than the cops, but he does have more things he can do to, or he actually has turn waste. But 2 Rockins can take him out, but Rockin can whiff. So don't 100% rely on it. Alright, so Yuna's getting out of here. A 30-29 on net. Ceriam getting a couple of bad hits back to back and taking his second death in O-net. Going to Mom for the free hill and running back. So, whew. The bad hit and the smash. Once again, this is Earthbound. I guess Ceriam's not cheating. I don't think we need to have a judge look at his material today. But it's alright. You can still catch up. You know, grabbing the hamburger there, that'll be used for Apple Kid, since she did use up all of her other ones. That is true. We have never had a rule about voodoo. Like, I can understand Ceriam's pain, though. Since 2015, I have never had a boogie percent race where I did not die at least once. Only one run where I didn't die in O-net. It happens, but you can make up for it. He got some skills. I believe in him. Oh yeah, just like you never died of Kraken, don't worry, it's coming. Oh, cool, and Ness doing a little bit of phasing there for Ceriam. He's got it this time. And having to ditch the hamburger behind. I feel like Ceriam went a little overboard on buying the hamburgers there, but I guess after you die a couple of times, just filling up. Whew, man. These cops have not been generous to either runner today. Yuna coming in here to one of probably 2 of my least favorite rooms in the game. You just lose a lot of time there and there's nothing you can do about it but complain and moan. Y'all see that there? I had to stop. My brain had a little tick. It said, don't swear. Choose a different word. I'm like, alright, I got it. I'm not gonna swear. Had a little bit of a spasm, but I didn't do it. Man, more burgers! The floor of this dojo is going to end up looking like a McDonald's kitchen. So Yuna actually didn't have a very bad trip through there. Again, the big thing that can happen is just getting spawns and having to go back and forth, running in and out of the room. cost about 5 seconds every despawn, and that time adds up very quickly. Yeah, you don't actually have to see the pencil eraser. It just has to be loaded into the game's memory. There's a specific spot you can go to, but there's some people, even though they've run the game for years, they still have to see it on screen or their brain just doesn't like it. It makes them freak out. Alright, so we got about a 5-minute difference between the runners. May seem like a lot, and I mean it is, but things can shift very easily. Ceriam not gonna have to go buy that box and grab an extra burger. In fact, he could feed Apple Kid for about a year with how many he has. Yeah, that movement to Apple Kid's pretty 2015. Not sure why Yuna went down that way. You need to talk to her about that. I didn't see any spawns there. Well, you wouldn't be able to do Tusa Manip without doing the Onet Manip. Alright, so Yuna being our first person to come into the death spiral up here. The big issue with this place is there's a lot of spawn tiles, and when you despawn things, it's very possible to get something coming in behind you. And these can all be very nasty fights. But Yuna just manipping her way through it. Nothing at all. No issues. And Ceriam, last one to talk to Zippy for today. Now, Yuna coming up on Isengard. The worst place of this, because all the time you just get trees everywhere. And they won't let you go. Oh, looks like we got an Isengard situation. Maybe. Yep, oh, we got a classic Isengard going on. Okay, there we go. She's good. She's good. Maybe. Alright, she's out of it. A lot of trees can spawn there. This is the last section of Peace West Valley for Yuna. There we go. She'll bait him. All right. Oh, never mind. He is stuck up on the wall. Those guys cannot move straight up and down. They have to have some room to have lateral movement. So if they're pinned up on a wall, you're good to go. Man, that snake there on the right is indecisive. I don't think I've ever seen an enemy you can stutter step, keep looking back like, hey, no, stop. No, don't look at me. I'm going to sit right here. They usually just run away. I mean, I don't know, like maybe that's a common thing I've just never noticed, but I don't think they usually don't look back at you. Well, that was a very nice stutter step. It's weird, those snakes just have a chance at this level to be aggressive. And I guess there's a shout out to Hippie Manippy. Wait, soft lock. Is there some kind of new soft lock with mushrooms now? You kids are advancing things faster than I know about. Alright, so the first little gatekeeper fight over here. I'm going to rock in first turn. These guys can hit you for the high teens, low 20s, but they can also call for help. They have 94 HP. Okay, not a bad first turn. Just going to rock in again. That was a good fight. No calls for help. The fun thing about these guys is you cannot run from them because there's a couple of them that are actually scripted as, like, they're set spawns, so the game won't let you run, and they were lazy and just used the same enemy everywhere. So since you can't run from one of them, you can't run from all of them. So you really don't want to get in a fight with any of these guys. Oh, hey, there we go. Ceriam getting a little bit bad luck there. God bless him, he tried, though. Sprouts can also call for help, but they're really not menacing enemies. Alright, so this is a single cultist. It can either be over here in 1 to 3 turns, or they can call for a bunch of buddies. Alright, so Yuna getting through there really well. Now we got Car Painter. Uko knows a lot about Car Painter fight. Car Painter is a scripted encounter. He has a 6-turn cycle, and he will go using lightning, where hopefully it will hit you because with the Franklin badge it will reflect back and damage Car Painter. The next move, he'll life up to heal himself for around 100. Then he'll do a physical attack, then a lightning again, then put a shield on himself, and then hit you. You absolutely cannot die on the turn that he does the lightning, unless your HP was already rolling down from before. So there's 0 reason to heal. Ooh, wow, that smash and the high roll here. Wow, and Yuna's out of the Car Painter fight. Let me explain the thing. Let me throw some shade. Alright, we'll do it in Ceriam. Alright, so Yuna's going on. And Ceriam's just getting here to Peaceful Rest Valley. That was a very quick fight. I'm back to thinking Yuna's on a little bit of a nip. Ceriam having to make the McDonald's kitchen floor again. A little too many hamburgers in there. Apparently Bible Thump can't find that video, Daniel. So the thing with the life up glitch is if he has his shield on and his shield will negate psychic attacks. Now, Crashing Boom Bang attack is not actually a psychic attack. But what I think happens with it is if Ness has a life up queued up and he reflects damage back to Car Painter, it considers that attack an actual psychic attack because it's coming from a character that had a psychic ability queued up, and it will not only eat Ness's life up, but it will completely negate the damage to Car Painter. And you got no one but yourself to blame. Here, you want to toss all your defensive equipment because we're going to Death Warp. You can do it now without the teddy bear. Just a little bit less lag in case there's a bunch of birds on the screen. Alright, so at 42 HP, that's a pretty good amount of HP for Ness. He can get killed in one hit here. Paula will almost always get killed in one hit. But at 42 HP, she's going to sit there and keep using the ATM card because she doesn't want to use her guard because that'll have damage. But that was a pretty quick death mole. Alright, Ceriam getting out of the cultist fight. Minimal damage. Alright, he's got a lot of HP. So, if he gets a one-turn Card Painter, that's good because he'll be out of the Card Painter fight quick. But it is somewhat beneficial. Eat just a couple of more turns and get through to the next cycle so you don't have so much HP going into the Death Warp. 105 HP going into Card Painter is pretty unfortunate. That's another thing. You never want to heal going into Card Painter. I've seen a lot of people like get to full HP, and I don't understand why. You safe. Alright, there's a miss. Another miss. That's okay. He's got a lot of HP. And unfortunately, Card Painter missing is pretty bad. I'm a big proponent of Mr. Bear or Mr. Mole and 2 bats. Alright, 74 HP. He got 40 HP, so he shouldn't get much more. This is still in Mole Death Warp range, but going to take about 2 hits. And asking for any more than, like, 1, because at 74, you could need 3. Actually, I think you could possibly need 4. And asking the mole to hit you that many times is just not what you want to do. He's very unreliable. Oh, Mr. Bear will maul him some children. Don't have to worry about him being inconsistent. I mean, I guess you can get unlucky. Yuna there kind of walking funky. There's a photo trigger there in front of the club. I get it. I'm trying to remember what this place actually called. It's not a club, it's a theater. Yeah, that's the word for it, a theater. So Ceriam's going to hope for a quick Death Warp. He's really not that far behind. I feel like he's made up a little bit of time. I mean, he's certainly made up a little bit of time. He was 5 minutes behind. Eggs. 100%. So Ceriam is heading back into Peaceful Rest Valley. See what he does here. Alright, just going for the robot Death Warp. You know what I'm happy about? In this 2017 season, we don't have the damn debates about, alright, we're going to do Vogler. Oh, we're going to do the walk back. Oh, I'm going to do the triple half gainer Mega Vogler. All that stuff died in 2015. And I have no problem with it. Alright, so very quick Death Warp. Let's see, Yuna is exiting the theater. 50-57. We'll see how much of a difference there is. Vogler is just, it's the name of the Death Warp. There's various strats that you can do. Either going out and getting the cup of life noodles, walking back, which is super garbage. Alright, so, since we just got a bunch of cutscenes going on, I'm going to take this moment to take a scheduled break from our sponsors, Dr. Pepper, and go grab one. Now that I have this cool, refreshing taste ready, let's get back to the show. So here in 3, we have a very short trip up to the graveyard. Snake saying hello. You got Flies, Garbage Can, and Spoopy Ghost here. A lot of times you can go through and it won't be a problem. But right up in this area, they can hide behind the trees. You just really need to watch your lag. Yeah, I heard about that stuff that's going on up in Gainesville. That's unfortunate. See, I grew up in Dublin, Texas. Didn't get much of an education, but I got a lot of dental bills and Dr. Pepper. Alright, so now that Paula is punishing Ness by visiting a hooker on their first date, we're off to Winners to see Jeff, who's Daniel's favorite character. Alright, yeah, it actually looks like Ceriam's about 5 minutes behind still. And Jeff doing his thing where he hears a voice that just tells him to go south. So he gets out of bed after hearing a strange woman's voice and goes south. I recommend not doing that. I recommend seeking help. So let's see. Ceriam's about 4 minutes behind now. About 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Yeah. JT got to see me unscripted and completely vulgar without the camera and the microphone or recording devices. I'm normally a calm and level-headed person, as y'all can tell from this and the fact that my brain had a slight seizure when I had to stop myself from using a curse word. Hey, and Yuna trying to size up that door with that protractor. Doesn't do anything, but she used that broken key with ease. That was some fancy movement, too. Not exactly sure how she wound up with the protractor. And here in the closets, not closets, or lockers, you get a little gun and a little hat. Be sure to equip them, because it's real fun when you get to the next fight and you take 20 damage and think, man, something's off. Like, oh yeah, I didn't equip. And it's also fun when you do that and still gold split. But that's quite rare. You sure are, Daniel. You be the little closet that you always wanted to be. Ooh, Ceriam getting a lot of lag here. Now, in most games, lag is your enemy, and even in Earthbound, lag is a bit of an enemy because it does slow you down. But, holy crap. The big thing with lag in Earthbound is when you start feeling lag, you know spawns are around. The ghost on Ceriam's cart really trying to show the spirit of Halloween to everybody. Once again, Jeff getting a message to go south. Without question, he goes south. With the monkey, who I've kind of ignored. Normally in these things, I do explain what Bubble Monkey is, but my disdain for him has reached such a level that I don't even mention him. But Bubble Monkey's a jerk. Doesn't do much damage in combat. He lags behind a whole bunch. And overall, he's just not a good person. A lot of love for the MS Paint Beast in here right now. It is actually a fantastic emote combo. Alright, so Yuna coming up on the hardest enemy in Earthbound. We have to wish her luck. This is a brutal fight. Takes a lot of planning and strategy. And by that I mean it's complete RNG and sometimes you die. Alright, so the Protoplasm can do 9 to 11 damage. Nice when he does 9. And Bubble Monkey actually helped him with the smash there. She could kill him in 2 turns. Unfortunately, even if he dies now... Oh! Yeah, there you go. When you get down in a situation like this, when a bunker down and defend, go for a couple of turns. It's honestly better than using a healing item. Wow, Bubble Monkey took him out. Give it a couple of turns. Every turn you're getting a 10% higher chance to run. Now, you don't get the experience from the fight, but you live. So let's see how Mr. Duck goes. Mr. Duck is very inaccurate, and he also has a lot of turns that he just wastes because they don't affect Jeff at all. Ducks are also very fast. Wow. So it took a while, but you got out of it. In a casual run, you'll probably be like level 3 or 4 when fighting all these things, so it's not bad. But in the speed run, they're very dangerous. Oh, wow. Ceriam getting Mr. Goat. Mr. Goat's a very dangerous enemy who can do, I think, like 13 damage a hit. He also has a lot of HP. Alright, he got out of Mr. Goat. He'll have a lot of levels, so Brick Road won't be too much of an issue for him. I mean, it still could be. It's still RNG. Yuna did get all 3 fights, but she made it out. That's the important thing. It's normally pretty easy to dodge a ram, but Bubble Monkey can be a jerk and let you get caught by it. And Pond Cave is all about stutter stepping. When you get a little bit later into the cave, you will get caught by mushrooms, which can't be stutter stepped, but they have a really small aggro radius. Ah, Uko got it. Look at me making puns. Very well done by Yuna there. You can start seeing mushrooms in this cave. And they about, I guess on y'all's screen, about 1.5 to 2 inches is their aggro radius. But screw it, Yuna's not going to let us see it because she minipped all the mushrooms out. Oh, there's one. A little bit of a stealth mouse hiding behind it. A little bit more difficulty in the third cave for her. Ceriam had 2 deaths in Onett, unfortunately. Well, Yuna is now in our final cutscene section, so let's see how Ceriam does here in the old brick road. Like to see some skipping going on. Alright, we going for it? And yeah, the bubble monkey just doing his thing. Be like, hey, look, I know you want to do this cool thing, but guess what? I'm a monkey. And I'm not intelligent. Oh, but he did get that ram fight, so he's a little better off. More offense. See what kind of duck he gets. Just gonna go for it. Hey, yeah, there we go. Sometimes the ducks aren't intelligent either. Oh, with the double skip. Let's everyone give him a little bit of a clap. I'm not sure what the hell happened right there, but it did it. All right, but these slugs here are the same as what you see in Giant Step, so not a big threat. Yuna going through a montage of all these beautiful areas in Earthbound that we won't be seeing today because we only played the first hour. For what I've seen from the results, and I'm basing this off of about 6 seconds that I glanced at the sheet, it seems like we're having a lot of newer runners. Folks who've only been here for either this tournament or really the last couple of months. Already progressing a bit. And doing very well in the opening. Good to see some fresh blood going out here. Very nice, Mozzie. Boogie Percent is a great way to get into the game. That you kind of get a good cursory knowledge of what's going on through it before you get to the second hour where the game becomes a bit of a jerk. We like to hook you in with the good part. Oh, that mushroom right out of aggro range. He's trying to pull him down so he'll get caught in the edge. Yeah, both players are on console. The only thing I miss about being able to play on emulator since I've started on console is you can't use all the pretty filters. You like the watercolor stuff and makes the game look so high tech. So Yuna's coming down here to Boogie's Hint. The final boss, the last little section. Good call, healing Jeff up to full just in case something happens. Yeah, emulators are allowed. Emulator actually plays at a slight disadvantage in Earthbound over consoles. Okay, good first turn, no damage, and yeah, alright, Yuna is the winner. 575 from Jeff, doing his job like the good man that he is. In some games, and emulator doesn't run the game very properly, and there's some emulators like ZSNES that don't run the game well at all based on hardware specifications. So if you're into speedrunning and are using emulators, don't use ZSNES. I know it has the fancy snow effect and all that stuff. That's what drew me into it as a wee child. But it's not very good. Alright, so Yuna's going to round us up as the first winner. Right under a 110. Very good run. Ceriam not far behind. You know, especially when you think about he had a Frank death and then a cop death, which I find cop deaths to be the worst death in ONET. I think it was a pretty early cop death, so it wasn't too terrible. But he's really not too far behind. See, I think this is our last race for tonight. I haven't looked at schedules or anything. I've been sitting in my recliner and dead to the world the last 4 hours. We seem to have lost our sound. I can fix this.